A fiery phoenix had been cruelly caught in a heavy iron net. A man prepared to take the rare creature back as a tribute for the king. The poor phoenix pleaded with him for mercy, and a single burning tear slid down her cheek. Her sorrow moved the man's heart. Overcome with pity, he hurried to unfasten the suffocating net. In a burst of ashes and flame, the phoenix was reborn. She cast him a grateful glance, then spread her enormous wings and leapt skyward, trailing an aura of good fortune in her wake. To repay the man's kindness, the phoenix left behind an original feather of her own. It was no ordinary gift. When the man faced mortal danger, the plume would ignite to protect him from harm. But when Afanti returned without the phoenix, the king was furious and ordered him seized. Afanti tried to produce the feather as proof of his honesty. To everyone's surprise, at that moment the sacred feather looked dull and lifeless. Laughter rang across the hall. Accusing Afanti of deceit, the king pronounced his execution. The axe was already raised when the feather burst into flame. All eyes turned upward. The phoenix had sensed Afanti's peril and rushed to his aid. She hovered above the town, showering the streets in a warm, radiant glow. In that instant, no one doubted Afanti anymore. The king, forced to save face before the crowd, publicly rewarded Afanti, but inwardly, his resentment only grew. Soon after, the king gave Afanti a mission. He was to journey to the freezing heights of the Great Snow Mountain, awaken the Princess of Ice, and bring her back to marry the king. The path was perilous, and in his malice the king believed Afanti would surely perish along the way. But Afanti had an unlikely ally, a magical little horse who accompanied him faithfully. Together, they braved the treacherous peaks and eventually stood before a colossal gate sealed in ice. The barrier was impenetrable, and Afanti felt defeated. Just then, the phoenix feather flared to life once more, flew like a spark into the frozen gate, and melted it in an instant. Torrents of ice water roared downward, sweeping the little horse away and spinning it into a frozen nugget, lodged precariously on a cliffside. Cautiously, Afanti pressed on into the crystal halls of the ice palace. At last, he beheld the sleeping princess of snow. The feather's fire stirred again, and the princess awoke. But upon learning that the one who sought to claim her as a bride was an aging king, she recoiled in despair. She pulled Afanti and leapt from the edge of the cliff. The little horse, shaking off the ice and beating its wings furiously, with one mighty heave, it carried them both away from the abyss alive and free once more.